All right, with that being said, let's take you guys to the feature match table where Eugen Heidt is going to go up against Luca Chetoni. And we got perfect information here, at least for the time being, with the hands of both players. This is Luca's opening hand, and he goes first. Manchi of the 10,000 hands, and that means chinlock.
Yeah, basically.
Well, does it? I'm just leaving that there for you to question me.
There is a Kaleidoscope, a Unicorn, Bryanak. Yeah, he's got a chinlock. There's no question about it. He is going straight for the Valkyrus. And the Kaleidoscope will be taking a Herald of the Arclight out of the extra deck into the graveyard, special summoning the Unicorn, overlaying into Chain, dropping into the graveyard.
All right, yeah, and his opponent Eugen, as we can see here, does not have the Book of Eclipse. However, he does have the reinforcement of the army.
Yes, he doesn't actually. Eugen doesn't actually have the Effect Veiler to stop this either.
Yeah.
So it's bad times.
Well, but the reinforcement is going to get him the DD Warrior Lady.
Yep.
And it can then get him out of that chinlock.
Yep.
And this is also key. I mean, we've been talking about this. Some players like to go for the chinlock turn 1 because they say, if my opponent doesn't have one of his 4 or 5 outs that people are usually playing, I can win the game right there. And we have seen this with Federico Soppini against Joshua Schmidt in our top 16 or top 8 feature match. Top 8 it was. Top 16, sorry. Top 16. And this time, Luca Chetoni is basically getting punished for it because he's going to invest quite a few cards into that chinlock.
Yep. And then DD Warrior Lady is going to mess up his day.
Right. So this would be one of the few situations where I really wouldn't mind seeing the side view where we can check what the players' faces are looking like. Because I believe that Eugen Heidt is actually not in the worst mood right now.
Well, he did just win quite spectacularly.
There we go. And he seems quite relaxed. Whereas Luca's made his move and now he's like, okay, let's see what you can do. All right. And Eugen did draw into another Shurit.
Okay, and he's like, how many cards do you have in your hand?
And what do you think about that particular chinlock with no back row, with no...
There's nothing to protect it, so it's going to be... There's nothing about it. It's going to be gotten rid of.
And Eugen just sets a monster. That is a Shurit. And he does not go for the reinforcement. So he's not minding the chinlock too much. I guess he wants his opponent to overextend first.
Yeah.
And then when Luca Chetoni has committed enough cards to the field, Eugen finds this out and is going to punish him with those big Nekroz plays.
It's a case of being in no rush.
And let's see. Luca did draw into an Effect Veiler, it appears. And he's going with that Lava Wall Chain. And you guys can, of course, vote on who you think is going to win this final. And again, Eugen Heidt is the favorite, according to our audience.
By quite a lot as well.
Yeah, he was already the favorite going into the match against Federico Soppini. And, well, that match was super close, but in the end, you guys were right. All right, so what is happening here? The Lava Wall Chain?
Yes, Lava Wall Chain is activating its effect.
And putting one card on top of the deck this time. Just business as usual, really. And Eugen did draw into a Nekroz cycle.
Okay, so he is pretty set up at the moment.
So when exactly do you want to break the lock, the chin lock?
When you're ready to be able to just turn around and one turn kill. He thinks he's safe sat behind that chin lock, and it's that false sense of security that's really going to be his downfall.
All right. And
I've noticed Luca plays just offset to all of the zones.
yeah, he's making really a lot of use of all that space that he has there. Is Manchu going to search him again? This is sometimes where I'm wondering, do you want to give your opponent so many searches and so many options to really, well, bring out all the cards that you want? And here he's going for Valkyries. And this, the last few times, indicated that he wants to push big.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to push big, and he has just dropped a Trishula onto the table saying, I've got a Trishula, I can't use it though. And I think that that's what he's protecting himself against. If Eugen can set up his own Ginlock as well, then he's going to be in a much better position.
Yeah. And there's the poke, and quite the big poke.
It's just 1800 and 1400. He can survive that.
And let's bring it up again. Eugen Heidt's hand. Reinforcement, cycle, Unicorn, Valkyries, Short, and another cycle. And now Valkyries' other effect kicking in main phase 2. Also very, very important effect.
Tribute 2 cards, draw 2.
Yeah.
Basically. Now he's dropping a Bryanak.
And what is he going to search for here? Oh, he did already search.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got the Nekroz of Valkyries now.
Yeah.
His hand is stacked. He's got
Yeah,
so
he is
much
ready.
fuel.
And here it comes.
Yeah, now it's time for that reinforcement for Eugen. And this very one-sided affair is turning into a much more swingy game. There's the Valkyries.
It kind of feels like it's going to still be a swingy game. And that's because the Book of Eclipse is not going to do any favours there. So Closeless is coming in, dropping there.
And what do you do now with that Warrior Lady?
Well, I think the obvious one is to attack the Closeless, banish the Closeless, so you've got a... you've stopped the Ginlock, and then you're able to stop popping off yourself.
Oh, well, no, the Valkyries was dropped to stop that attack. So, I mean, for Luca, what does Luca want to do with the Warrior Lady? He just attacks over it?
Oh, yeah. Basically, he's going to attack over it, more than likely, with Valkyries, or he's going to make something else. Although now there is a graveyard, and there is a Trishula in hand, so preparation of rights is going to be ridiculously good here. And yeah,
yes,
there is no way that Eugen's coming back from that.
It is so ridiculously good that Eugen, again, sees that writing on the wall, and
immediately grabs his side deck and starts siding furiously.
yeah. And while this doesn't look great for Eugen, we've seen pretty much the same thing, or actually an even worse situation or start for the finals for him, for the semi-finals, when Federico Soppini won in his first turn. So Eugen Heidt he's used to some bad beats.
Yeah.
That was the first one. Let's hope it's just going to stay with one, at least if you're rooting for him.
He doesn't look phased at all.
No, yeah, he remained pretty calm in that other match against Federico Soppini. Even despite the way he lost the first game, he was like, yeah, there was nothing I could do, so why should I break my head over it and worry too much?
Okay, so Luca siding, and he's also running Mind Crush and Shared Ride.
All right. Those will most likely come in.
There is also a Royal Decree, which is nice to basically just be able to go, yeah, you've just sided in all of those cards and now you can't use them.
Yeah.
But that depends. I mean, it would be one that I would just possibly try siding in one of, but knowing that I've won the first game and we could go to a game 3, I might leave it for then.
Yeah, also it's one of these cards where it's important to know whether you're going first or second.
Yeah. Now, on Eugen's side, as we said last round, he has his Share Ride, his Mind Crushes, Vanity's Emptiness, Breakthrough Skill, and his Exile Force to get over any sort of Ginlock. Now, it does feel like most of the format with Nekroz is literally just who can get the Ginlock, and then who can break the Ginlock, and then who can get their Ginlock.
It is a lot about that, and this is why so many players are also making sure. Sometimes they are playing less effective versions of Nekroz
Yeah,
and adding more cards that can get them out of the chinlock, just because this is such a powerful play.
it's huge.
All right, and Luca in a very cheerful mood. Eugen in his somewhat regular nonplussed mood. He's learning from Joshua Schmidt how to not give away any feelings while he's sitting on the feature match table.
Right, and here we go.
Yeah,
Just getting the hands loaded in now.
Yep, that's just going to be another second. And so far, it's looking pretty good for my pick for the finals, Luca Chetoni. Although I gotta say, I was forced into that pick.
You didn't have to pick the other one.
Of course, I have to pick the other
Why
one.
would you have to? It's not. It doesn't have to be a competition. We can work together.
No, we can't work together. All right, so Luca apparently, maybe didn't learn the lesson, and he again goes for the chinlock on the first turn. Is that what's happening here?
Maybe, maybe not.
This time he's got the Mind Crush to back it up.
He has a shirt. He doesn't really have the unicorn to be able to go for it. So he's going straight for a Valkyrus, just to start drawing cards.
Yeah, that's the other typical opening.
He also has his Mind Crush, which is great for him.
Right, and this time we're going to see him passing with no field apart, most likely apart from that Mind Crush, after tributing both of his monsters for the Valkyrus effect.
Yes, I believe that's what he's going to be doing next. Now, let's have a look at Eugen's hand.
Yes.
Just see what we've got coming up. Now, he has his Nekroz Mirror and a Valkyrus. He has 2 Book of Eclipse as Senju with 1,000 hands. So he's got a little bit of a search. He's got something that he can try and attempt to summon.
Yeah.
And his 2 Book of Eclipse. Now, I doubt that Luca is going to blindly call Book of Eclipse. But if he did, it would be an epic move.
Yeah, although
Okay,
we have seen the best Mind Crush ever played earlier today.
Yes, we did, where he hit 3 Shadow Falcos in one go.
And before that, he also hit 2 targets.
Yes.
So
Before that, he hit 2 Sovereignty
Yes.
during the summon of a Scepter.
yeah, this is how you do it. And then he sided them out, which was the most surprising part. But he said typically they are not that good against Shadow. All right. So that is this is the other cards that Luca holds on to. Yeah. And what do you think? Did Eugen pass again? No, he did.
Did he?
Yes, he's still doing that.
No, that was all the same turn. That was all the same turn.
And I think-
Yes, it was. That was the first turn.
Okay. Yeah, I'm no longer surprised by that move. Yeah, we've seen that earlier, where Eugen just passes play without performing any actions because he thinks sometimes you can't do anything. So this is his 6th card for his first turn, in fact, and he summons the Senju, and he goes searching.
He goes and gets a Unicorn. A Bryanak. He drops the Bryanak. And didn't quite see what he got to his hand there, but I'm sure we will in a moment. And Nekroz Mirror.
Yep. And are you happy about those 2 copies of Book of Eclipse in your hand? Or you just want to have one?
It's not great to have both, but you know.
Okay,
here we go.
Is the Mind Crush.
Mind Crush is stopping the Valkyrus being summoned. So no more drawing for Eugen. But he's still got a shirt, and he can still bring out a Unicorn. Which is a nice little bit of damage. Unless... No, there is no sort of Valkyrus in Luca's hand. So he is going to be able to get some pokes through.
Yep. So let's see. Eugen still got a couple of cards in his hand. And don't forget, he can search for even more cards by banishing that ritual spell in his graveyard.
Yes. But only if he has no monsters. which is why Valkyrus is a good play, because you contribute all the monsters on your side of the field, draw some cards, and then banish and get some more stuff.
Yeah,
And he's overlaying into chain, I believe. Yep, there's the chain.
And now is he now applying the chinlock maybe?
Does he have everything for it? What does he currently have in his hand? He has a Nekroz,
Just
Clausulus.
the Clausulus and 2 Book of...
Yeah, he definitely has it. If he has a Clausulus, he definitely has it.
Yeah. All right.
And Nekroz Mirror has probably just gone to hand. He's going to play... Oh, Nekroz Cycle, apologies. And so, yep, there's the Banished, and there's the Clausulus.
And what does Luca Chetoni do now?
Luca actually has no outs currently in hand, so we'll have to see what he draws into. He has ways of thinning his deck to attempt to get the outs, of course. While he doesn't have the outs, though, he doesn't want to play any cards onto the field, as he would be very much in range of a Trishula.
Right. So also, Eugen, no more cards in his hand. He's playing with he put everything on the table.
He put everything on the table, and now he doesn't have to fear a Trishula either.
Yep. Luca does have the Trishula, a second copy, not exactly what he was hoping for here.
And I do believe he's probably at this point lost. All that needs to happen is Eugen needs to draw into a monster he can bring out.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a lot of damage.
And Luca, of course, being aware of that, searching for that Valkyrus, which will then be able to buy him another turn.
And that is a very nice field that Eugen's got there.
Yeah, with a Lava Vault Chain and that Clausulus.
And he does have 3,000 attack on the field there, because a lot of people forget that Clausulus actually has attack.
And
you see it in defense position so often.
Did it seem like Eugen was telegraphing a Mind Crush here?
Yes.
It did.
It felt like he's going.
Like, I think he could have done. He could have tried a little bit harder, but he didn't. I mean, if he had a Mind Crush, he would use it now.
Yes.
No.
Or would he? No, of course he wouldn't. He would wait.
Oh, he wants to get rid of the Valkyrus, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
Because he can then swing big, maybe even for game. Well, in any case, he just drew for his turn. Now he's adding a Senju of the 1,000 hands to the top of his decks, thanks to the effect of Lava Vault Chain.
Lava Vault Chain still putting in the work. Been a very good card in previous formats, and especially now. Yeah,
especially in Infernity, but it's also quite good in Nekroz. And Eugen had a Nekroz Kaleidoscope, adding that to his back row, and then again with no cards in hand. No cards in hand, he passes play. So no matter what happens, he's not going to fall.
And he's got the reinforcement of the army, which gets him his out.
Luca Chetoni finds that out to the Chinlock.
He is in luck, however, because if you remember, he has 2 Book of Eclipse.
Yes.
And Lava Vault Chain is big enough just to run over the DD Warrior Lady. If he gets an attack in, of course.
Yep.
Because there is a Valk there.
So that Warrior Lady is basically gone, so to say. What else does Luca have to break the lock?
He also sides an Exiled Force. Oh, actually, no, he doesn't. That is...
Ooh. I thought we were going to see a Book of Eclipse here.
He did... Ooh, okay. Interesting.
So Eugen giving up the Chinlock.
I don't know whether he would... Well, he would have been giving up the Chinlock anyway. Of course he would, because he'd be flipping his Clausulus face down. Ooh, so that was going anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also affects your own cards. Sometimes it's a little bit late.
Yeah.
Of course, you're flipping all the monsters face down.
Luca's still on very low life points, though. So if that Lava Vault Chain he's gotten rid of, there's lots of stuff going down. Now, I believe that Eugen has just drawn for turn. Luca has passed.
There's the Book of Eclipse.
Quite an old card, but really, really quite good.
Yeah, mostly because it doesn't target, or that's one of the many reasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
And before, you have only seen it being played in the deck destruction decks, and this is quite the opposite. The only deck you're destroying half the time is your own deck when you're running through it with all those search effects.
Yeah.
All right. So Eugen's got a Senju, of course, because that is what he set up the turn before. And Luca didn't perform any more moves after getting rid of that Chin, because he couldn't attack in that same turn anymore. Would there have been anything that he could have done?
Trishula?
Nope, because Eugen had no cards in hand.
This is true. And he is sending probably... Yep, there's the Herald of the Arclight. Especially summon the Unicorn that's in hand.
Yeah, and Eugen just improving his position more and more. But Luca is not exactly out of the game with that Nekroz of Valkyros in his hand. He can buy himself another turn. Or is there anything that Eugen can do to work around that Valkyros?
Let's have a look and see what he's got on his side here. Valkyros activates in the hand and does not target, I believe. Is that right?
It does kind of target, because if you
but if you get rid of the monster, but it doesn't specifically target. As in, if an effect was negating something because it was targeting, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. You negate the attack and then end the battle phase.
There's not a massive amount that is in the extra deck that will help there for Eugen. But the other way to do it is to not play around it and literally just make sure it's gone.
That's possibly the better way. All right.
Yep, and that's what he's doing. There's definitely Nekroz cards in there.
Yeah, quite a few, in fact. And Luca now thinking what to banish.
Just reordering his graveyard there. Good thing nobody's playing Question.
All right, Luca thinking hard about this one. And it is a short. All right, and Eugen about to pass his turn after he switched Valkyros to defense. Oh no, he's now overlaying for Abyss Dweller. Also an interesting choice.
Not necessarily. He's going to stop things activating in the graveyard, which is what a lot of the search cards do, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes.
There you go. He's making sure that there's no searches going on. No crafty searches.
It's an interesting way of locking your opponent out of his options for Eugen. And with just 1,700 life points remaining, there is definitely not a lot that Luca can do. He did find a shared right on the top of his deck, and now he feels it's time to summon Manju of the 10,000 hands.
Now it's also shutting down any sort of ritual cards that would be in the graveyard, allowing search for more ritual cards. Unfortunately, there is a mirror in Luca's hand. Well, it's unfortunate for Eugen, of course.
Yeah. And those Book of Eclipse, so far, didn't really do that much. But there's a strong chance we're going to see them being used in this game, don't you think?
Definitely, definitely. It's just when it comes out is the next issue. The gem releaser of rituals is in hand, so if he was able to get a hold of a Clausulus, he'd be able to make his own Ginlock. But with that much back row, do you really want to make a Ginlock?
No, I don't think so. Because also the big question is, what is Luca... I mean, Luca should have a pretty good idea of what Eugen could be having in that back row.
Yeah.
He knows it's not a Mind Crush, because that Mind Crush would have sent the Warrior Lady to the graveyard.
Yeah, Mind Crush would have done things a long, long time ago.
Yeah. So what else is there, really? And I think he's pretty certain that Book of Eclipse is one of the possibilities here. Now he's going for Trishula, but I believe that Eugen has 0 cards in hand. So no effect kicking in for Trishula.
But Trishula is still a big, big monster.
Yeah, and with 2 copies in his hand, Luca Chetoni maybe felt like, okay, this is as good a time as any to use this card.
And if he was to play the Book of Eclipse now, it's going to be giving him 2 cards to draw, which is not great. Ah, but there he goes.
There's the Book of Eclipse.
What is Trishula's defense? 2000. Ah, okay. Now, Abyss Dweller going face down. And setting Unicorn, pulling up a card.
And Luca setting the shared right. And with that, it's back to Eugen, after Luca draws 2 cards, of course, during the end phase. And what is a card that he wants to draw? An Effect Veiler, I guess.
Yeah, Effect Veiler would be very, very nice at the moment.
And Eugen did draw into a Max C. What do you do with Max C here?
Not really much. All of the special summons have already happened. You could just drop it to stop a Trishula from hitting you, which is something that may very well happen in second.
Yeah, when Luca activates a ritual spell, Eugen can then drop the Max C. So he gets to draw a card, and Luca doesn't get to banish anything if he were to go for that Trishula. There's a preparation of rights.
And he has a target in the graveyard as well. This is not looking good for Eugen.
No, really, it isn't. Even though he has 8,000 life points, we have seen the Nekroz deck wiping out amounts, like even larger amounts of life points in the blink of an eye.
Now, I can see a Raigeki happening here, just to get rid of the Abyss Dweller and the Lava Val Chain. Eugen's actually, it looks like he is losing his poker face just a little bit there. Now, yes, a Raigeki will probably happen roundabout now. There is one more Book of Eclipse to stop Luca from winning this turn.
So, yeah, Eugen can bide his time, and then he will need a gigantic comeback.
Yes. Although not that much. There's so little damage he needs to do. But as we said earlier, he doesn't run Raigeki or anything just to mass clear a field. And it's not as if he could even cowboy twice. Because then he would still be 100 out.
Yeah.
Which is a little annoying.
So Luca Chetoni attacking with Nekroz of Trishula into the Abyss Dweller, and possibly for the second time we're going to see a Book of Eclipse.
That would be interesting, but do you really want to give 2 cards again?
Nope, he's not using it.
He just activated the effect to make sure that there was going to be no cards activated in the graveyard, which I don't believe there is anything in the graveyard currently that can do that. A Unicorn has been discarded.
To bring back a Valkyrus. And that means Luca is going to see another turn most likely.
Yes, Luca is doing very, very well.
And he's, bit by bit, he's clawing his way back into this game. Gotta give it to Luca Chetoni. There is no quit in him. And there you can see he's got the Trishula, the Manju, a shared right. Preparation of rights, of course, has been played. So this card is no longer on the field. And his hand, the Valkyrus, Unicorn, Mirror, Raigeki, and Nekroz of Trishula. All right. Eugen Heidt drew into a reinforcement of the army,
which isn't giving him much, to be honest. Trishula 2000 defense, so even with the Book of Eclipse, he can't attack over it.
Also, it would mean that the shared right is going to become active.
Yep.
And Luca would draw even more cards. It's not as if he didn't have enough already.
It seems at the moment everything that Eugen's got is going to give Luca some form of advantage.
Yeah, so Eugen doesn't even activate the reinforcement, he just sets it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's a big bluff.
and again, he's able to work around that Trishula.
Okay.
There's a
Necroz
Necroz
mirror
mirror,
happens.
and we're gonna see Maxi now being discarded from Eugen's hand.
Should be. I think he's just checking now to see if anything can actually come out. Yep.
Yeah,
Reads the fact that it's going to be a Trishula that's going. There's the Trishula, it does nothing, and Maxi is going to... Actually, then Maxi nets a card.
Yep.
What is that? What's the situation with that? Is that part of a new chain?
So Trishula hits play. At that point, Maxi draws a card, and then after Trishula hit play, its effect should kick in. So it starts a new chain. And that means that Eugen would have a target.
Right, it's Luca that's playing it, but yeah. Interesting.
Eugen found another reinforcement. Yeah. I think he's... Yeah, he is banishing.
Yeah.
So actually, Maxi, of course,
No,
not...
Maxi didn't do anything at all.
Yeah. So, but what would have been the better move? Just setting it, the Maxi?
I guess it would have been kind of a way of just stopping that happening. Clawless is being searched to hand. And to be honest with you, even there is no one-card combo that's going to help Eugen out of this.
There goes the Lava Wall chain, and now Eugen is suddenly standing with his back against the wall.
Just a quick reminder again that Eugen isn't running Raigeki or anything to get rid of the field that's in front of him.
And Luca Chetoni is not done just yet. He just caused a big swing in the game. Eugen Heidt suddenly left with just 2 cards on the field. That's the Book of Eclipse and a Nekroz Mirror. And no cards in hand, thanks to Trishula.
No, Eugen is not having a good time. And I believe that's the 3rd Book of Eclipse that he just drew? Or is that just on the field?
That's
oh, yeah,
the
that's
one
on the field.
Yeah.
Apologies.
So it's still Luca's turn at the moment.
Luca's attacking for a ridiculous amount.
Yeah, and with just 3,400 life points, Eugen Heidt needs to draw something.
So Eugen's going to now pick up his, what could be his last card.
Yes. And is there anything that can turn this around?
What does he draw? He just drew into an effect Veiler. And unfortunately, that's one of the things that can't turn this around.
Yeah, but maybe he can find something in his graveyard that he can still use to perform something. And Luca, look at Luca, watching Eugen very carefully. And Eugen is going through his every option. He does find something.
And Shed Ride. Shed Ride is going to happen.
Yeah, so Eugen goes searching while Luca goes drawing, thanks to that shared ride. And keep in mind, Eugen cannot simply push and go for a big attack to deal the last 1,700 points of damage, because Luca has a Nekroz of Valkyros in hand, 2 in fact. So as long as this is sitting there, no chance for Eugen to deal that final points of damage.
I don't think Eugen is in any position at the moment. Although he's got, as we know, the Book of Eclipse that's going to help him survive this one turn. And then next turn, he really needs something.
Yeah. That shared ride providing Luca with a Max C. Whereas Eugen now has an Effect Veiler and a Nekroz Cycle in hand.
It's weird that a lot of people are saying don't run 2 Trishula. And here it is in the final of a YCS with 2 Trishula on the board.
Yeah, but we have heard from Paul Cooper, who came over from the US, and he also runs 2 Trishula, and he says it's so good, this card.
Yeah.
You always want to resolve one, and sometimes you cannot get it the first time around because your opponent does have an out, but then the second time Trishula hits, it means game, especially if your opponent is not seeing it coming because he thinks you're only running 1.
Now there's another search with shared ride, so that's another card for Luca. Reinforcement of the army, another card for Luca. And we can see Effect Veiler is one of the cards that Luca has just drawn into, so he is going to be able to stop any effects that are happening currently. And, ooh, Maxi dropped to the response of that ritual.
So many answers
so
here.
Luca has all of his hand traps, and it's thanks to that shared ride that he was able to draw into them all. Now, Bryanak has just entered the field. Sure, it is going to allow to search again for a warrior. Now, this Eugen must see how he's going to win here, because there's no way he would give all of those cards to his opponent without knowing what's going on.
Right.
I still worry about that Effect Veiler for Eugen, because, well, it's going to mess him up if he's planning on any sort of monster effect helping him.
And Luca Chetoni with so many cards in hand.
Maybe the new strategy is to
Deck
get
out?
Luca deck out. Yeah, definitely. Luca's been doing a lot of searching. There's like 6, 7 cards left in his deck. Can he get rid of them all?
I think there are a few more. I think there are a few
I'm looking at the deck. That definitely doesn't look very, very tall. That would be funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, wow. Yeah, he has nearly no cards, doesn't
it's
he?
It's a very, very low pile. But so far, it's
He's
not...
summoned, he's making a Leo. Leo may have just won him the game. Oh, no. Sorry, he's drinking a Star Eater. You can't respond to it, can you?
The Star Eater. And that's definitely not a play that we saw coming.
Oh, well, I thought about this earlier, because I was like, Effect Veiler is a tuner, but he doesn't have any cards to play it with. I kept thinking about what could he play that card with?
Yeah, when Synchro Summon cards and effects cannot be activated. If this card attacks, it is unaffected by other card effects until the end of the damage step. So, no cards, no effects for Luca Chetoni.
Yeah.
Actually, when Synchro Summon cards and effects...
It's just when the Synchro
Yeah, it's just for the Synchro Summon. So, yeah, it's not shut everything down, it's just when it hits the field.
Yes, it is a big card, though. Unfortunately, Raigeki...
There is the Raigeki.
It's a thing.
There's a Book of Eclipse waiting in Eugen's back row.
And there's the attack. And does he play the Book of Eclipse, or does he just give in?
I mean...
Although he might still be decking him out. Because he's counting, there's 8 cards left in that deck.
But the shared ride is gone.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're going to see another...
He only needs to stall for 9 more turns. Which doesn't sound...
impossible.
No.
And Eugen's got a Nekroz of Valkyros in his hand.
Oh, so you could just Valkyros this.
Actually, that Book of Eclipse is also going to draw 2 cards, which is also relevant.
Yep, so that's... maybe he is actually trying to get him to deck out. That would be immense. Although, Mind Crush could literally just go Valkyros, and then he's lost.
Yeah, so look at this gigantic... This is
he
not
has to discard cards because his hand is too large.
This is not the deck list of Luca Chetoni. This is, in fact...
Yeah.
He passes play and flips that Mind Crush just like you predicted for the Valkyros.
Yes, he is very, very happy.
And that means game in the finals of YCS Bochum. And,
amazing.
Luca Chetoni